The Kendy and Raybo podcast, sponsored by Maeve's and the Garavogue Bar.
Like, I haven't even talked to you since you came into the room.
I know I haven't spoken to you much at all, but that's okay because I'm getting my little bits together.
All right, yeah, but we're doing it now. That's what I mean.
I
didn't give you any time at all.
No, but I have it there now, so it's happening. Are you struggling there trying to open your tin of Summers, Hay Bulmers?
Yeah, I was just thinking, is that why I did it?
Yeah.
$2.75.
What?
That's what they're gone up to.
Are they?
Expect to pay no more than $2.75. Well, I don't know what to expect in this country anymore, the way it's gone.
Isn't that nice that Bulmers do that?
But you know what? There's something about the green and orange there of a Bulmers can, like that. Like, that is summer. I feel like I'm 12 all over again. Yeah. Drinking out in the garden.
Yeah.
Though they are cold, yeah. You just pulled them straight out of the fridge, didn't you?
I know I was late to this session, and I apologise, but I did take 4 minutes out of my lateness to go and get you a Bulmers.
I feel like going to the bookies. Come on! Let's go to the bookies, the
three of us. The worst thing is now, obviously with Go Loud, our wonderful benefactors, they may have a different beverage sponsored.
Well, I've always said, drink more than one drink. I've always said that.
But we'll also say, as much as we're enjoying these cool Bulmers of this summer's day, by the way, it's the hottest, most beautiful day in Ireland ever.
It is.
It's a Tuesday before Friday.
So just so everyone knows, I will give the context this is like Tuesday, May 13th, 2005, the hottest day
of Ireland's history. And since historical records arrived, I'm already bananas.
It's so hot. It's so hot that I brought Ali home from the creche and I was like, come on, we go out the back, and she went out for 8 seconds and she was like, no, I'm not doing that.
No.
And kids, like, anytime you say to Ali, let's go outside.
Now, if you had turned on a hose.
Yeah, I know, but she didn't want, the water was too cold in.
Oh.
I left a bucket of water outside. She said, that's cold, that's hot.
Her father.
I said, who are you fucking...
Fussy.
What you call it? The Three Bears. What was the one? Goldilocks.
Goldilocks and the Three Bears.
Yeah, Goldilocks and the Three Bears.
The Three Bears didn't get really a name check there. Goldilocks was the star of that show.
Yeah, well, I wonder what the Three Bears' names were. Ray, Brendan and Mark.
I think there was Mommy Bear, Daddy Bear and Baby Bear.
Yeah, but that can't be their names, Ray.
No, it's probably Joe, Francine and...
It was Joe, Pauline...
And Patrick.
And young Patrick, So that brings it all to life for you now. Because bears are people too, everybody. So we're drinking fine Bulmers, and I feel like going down, sitting outside Maeve's, drinking cans of Bulmers and running over to Boyle Sports every 5 minutes. The Tiger races are on. Let's go for it, Ray.
Do you get the
Let's ride some ponies.
Do you not get the weather anxiety though?
Of what?
The feeling that you should be utilising every second that it's like this.
Yeah, I actually spent the day on a computer and I was like, shit.
And here's me. I at one stage today now, and I can't really say this, but at one stage today in the Department of Government, I thought, I wonder could I let all the staff that report to me just go home at lunch?
Well, if I've learned anything about the Department of Government, you can actually. Ray.
I can't. Of course. No, I can't. That's illegal.
No, but it doesn't matter. That doesn't seem to stop them.
I thought that'd be lovely.
Do you know what the big thing was in school? You know, it was like when the weather was mad hot. You know, when you'd get to lunchtime, I don't know if this happened to you, you'd get to lunchtime and you'd be saying a prayer that they don't make you come back in after lunch.
Does that ever happen?
Yeah, that happened loads.
They left you out there.
Yeah, a lot of bad leaving certs in Costa Rica school, but a lot of great days though.
This is secondary school.
Yeah, so in secondary school, you'd be out playing in the pitch, scorching hot, jumpers around your waist.
Yeah.
Nothing else on, just a jumper around your waist.
Jumpers for goal posts.
Jumpers for goal posts.
Sticking it out.
Well, we actually had goal push. But, and you'd be just hoping that 2 o'clock would be coming and you'd be going, I wonder will they come out and tell us go in or will they let us just stay going?
That never happened.
And there was days where you'd be allowed to stay going till 4 o'clock.
I suppose when you're going to a very fancy, expensive boarding school like I was.
You didn't go to a very fancy... Where'd you go, Garbally?
What?
Did you go to Garbally?
No, I didn't know.
Did you go to...
It was at some point in its history at boarding school.
Was it?
But with the nuns, people go stay with the nuns and learn things.
Oh.
But that had kind of stopped by the time I got there.
Yeah,
I just kind of wanted to make it out that I had a more exclusive upbringing than I actually did.
Ray used to wear a blazer to school, not a jumper.
No.
Do you know, that was a big side of it.
I used to wear a jumper that was 3 sizes too big for me because it had been pulled off me so many times. And not by women.
Yeah, it used to be a big thing, like those days where you'd be like, oh, we get to play for 3 hours straight. And you'd play football for 3 hours straight. I can't play football for an hour now for 2 reasons. One, physically, my body won't let me. 2, my family won't let me.
We're missing the football. There's an actual football game, a 5-a-side, which now is a 57-a-side.
Yeah.
Happening as we speak when we're recording this.
Yeah.
We can't be there.
And the annoying thing is, like, we went into that with such good intentions. So Keith Reynolds moved to Sligo, and he brought football with him.
He brought soccer to the town.
He was like, you know,
there was no soccer.
No, there was no soccer. It was like a religious bringing. Like, do you know, in years to come when Keith is dead, people would say,
there'll be a statue of him.
Keith Reynolds, he brought soccer to Sligo.
Nothing about that Rovers team.
No, five-a-side.
Yeah,
he brought five-a-side to Sligo.
Sorry, yeah.
So, and we were all at a buzz, like, we're all going to get fit again and see each other again and enjoy our lives again. It lasted 2 weeks for me. Like.
I played for a long time, but then I got injured.
Yeah, you did. You broke your foot.
I'd say I broke something because I tried to kick the ball too far. You know what happens when you try and kick a ball too far?
Yeah, it doesn't go far enough.
With inappropriate
and you break your foot. Yeah.
Footwear.
So, like, you're the second musician that hurt themselves at that football because you
James McManus, R.I.P.
Yeah, but you're not. Yeah, he was killed. James was killed.
Stone dead.
Someone took a shot.
He was in the goal. The ball hit him dead,
and he was killed.
That was it.
So, but I can't do that either now. Like, you know, so I don't know. Bring back those days where imagine if we had nothing to worry about, me and you today, and someone just rang and said, "Come on, down."
Yeah.
Do you know? Like I said this. Like I went out playing pitch and putt with Shawnee B. Right.
Yeah.
And Cahill and Derek and Shawnee B's friend Sean.
Yes.
Just so no one's left out.
Yeah.
Monday, bank holiday Monday, just gone.
I missed this.
Scorching hot weather.
Yeah, I heard
enjoying it. And Nicola said, "Go on, sure, just go out. Like it's going to be okay."
Yeah.
And I came back to fucking mayhem. Like,
sorry to hear that.
Just for going for 2 hours, I was like, I will go enjoy myself, and then I'll come back to my lovely family who'd all be going, "Daddy,
great
it's
to see you."
And I came back into war zone.
Yeah, it's bad when my wife comes home from a visit to your house last night, and she also says, "I don't know, do we want kids?" I don't know. They're lovely.
Yeah.
But Christ, what I seen there this evening was bad.
Yeah.
Apparently the smaller one, Layla.
Yeah.
Just projectile, like Team America vomiting.
Yeah, it was Team America
prolonged, and it was on your trousers, it was on the couch.
It was everywhere.
We were looking at couches, you know, for the house, and all of a sudden now we realise we need to get, you know, couches that you can take off all the fabric.
Yeah.
And you need a washable couch.
Don't buy expensive. That's the thing, because nothing in your life that's expensive now.
There was us sitting on an Orla Kiley couch going, "Ooh, this
don't be sitting on Orla Kiley. Don't sit on Laura Kiley, Orla Kiley. Don't sit on any Kiley, right? So
stay away from Kiley.
Stay away from Kiley's altogether. So get a wooden bench, right? Get a wooden bench and a tarpaulin sheet.
yeah, fair enough. Wrap it in cling film.
Yeah, and stay and sleep on that, because the Layla last night, she's sick, like, you know.
I feel bad for her now.
And she puked so much that, like,
where did it come from?
I don't know, but it had. I'm so sorry, everybody. Anyone who's listening, sometimes I forget. I'm just talking to Ray. It had all the colours of her daily intake.
Whoa! I don't want to hear this either.
We could actually say, "There's dinner."
No. I suppose you got to entertain yourself somehow.
Yeah, but I never, like, Laura and Louise. I could tell Laura and Louise were a bit like.
Is this what it really like?
She just emptied, like, as in she's just skin and bone now. Like, how there's nothing else left in her. But even me and Nicola were looking, going, "What is happening?" She painted the entire living room with puke.
Oh God! All right, okay.
Like, nothing like I've ever seen
drink
before.
Responsibly.
Like.
Don't have
drink
kids.
responsibly and don't ride.
Yeah,
don't ride. But the point is that I'd love to have a little bit of that giddy freedom back, where you just go off and do something of a day.
Yeah.
You know. And I always harp back to the first lockdown of COVID, where
you could do that.
You could just do that.
Yeah.
And there was nothing, you didn't even have work to worry about. You just went, let's go and live our lives within a 5 kilometre radius.
Within
please.
2 kilometres.
Within 2 kilometres at some stages, and then
What
5 kilometres.
But
Do you
anyway,
know? But like, I'd love, the thing is, if we got another pandemic tomorrow, I would nearly like another pandemic.
Well, you couldn't participate because you'd have children.
I can't participate in this pandemic. I'd feel like one of the nurses. Do you know what I want? If there's another pandemic, right, I want people coming out of their houses clapping.
Just for parents.
Just for parents. Listen, they're getting through it as well. Fair play to you for being the parents of the country as well.
Yeah.
So I was chatting to another guy today, and I said to him, I'm doing the parents thing again. People must hate me.
Yeah, I just noticed that.
He was like, "Oh, we're trying for number 2." Like, and I was caught, like, in between, going, it is great, like, but I felt like saying to him, don't. See, the thing is, I can't say don't, because that sounds really bad. That means, like, I don't want Layla. Of course I do.
No, you did want her.
Yeah, I did. Not now. No.
And when you're listening to this, Layla, in 18 years.
Yeah. Like, Layla's a blessing, but, like, the naivety of me and Nicola is so stupid to go, like, this is great, let's do loads of these. Like,
naivety is what gets everybody into families.
Well, it is really, but, like,
you don't
not
know.
really. So, but, like, there was massive families in Ireland because you couldn't wear condoms. That's why there was huge. That's why your father wanted the jump, and and
it was dangerous.
and 11 times.
And 11 children.
11 children came out.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Nowadays, you can control your outtake of children, really.
Yes, you can.
You can put a gate on it.
Yes.
So you can. And you can block the signal going through, and you can still go and enjoy your life, you know? So family nowadays is far more choice, I think. I don't think I'm being stupid.
The odd one slips through.
The odd one slips through, Ray.
And they're loved as well.
They are loved, not planned or wanted, but loved.
Loved.
For sure.
Yeah.
But back in the day, you know, like, the old sayings would have been like, well, he was the one we didn't go for, you know? And I think other people have more control over
That's
that.
Karen in our
Do you know
house.
how? Do you know, is it Karen?
Nah,
she was
not
the one
really,
that they
no,
just...
I'm only messing.
The,
But there was
Ray,
talk, she was, you know.
the technology nowadays, Ray, with AI, artificial insemination. No, with the opposite. Right, AI nowadays. No, there's a coil, there's a pill, there's a condom, there's a bar.
Yeah.
There's all sorts of stuff, Ray,
I
to
could never
block this
understand the bar.
stuff. So I don't know what that means. I think it's just go sit at the bar. And see.
Just stay away.
Stay away. Go sit at the bar.
Just stay at the bar.
Yeah, stay at the bar.
You're not going to have any problems.
But this is all stuff that goes into, and I mean, obviously, clearly unnatural, but great stuff.
Yeah.
You know, and someone else.
the
might
church
say,
agree with this now?
The church in their side would agree with this. Now we have a new pope.
Yeah.
Maybe he's apparently a liberal gentleman.
Leonardo,
Leo the 14th.
Yeah.
He's apparently a liberal gentleman, and who knows?
I can't believe he's from Chicago.
Isn't it nuts?
He's an American.
Yeah, like there was an old footage. That's what's mad.
Yeah.
So the mystique of every pope I've ever known, for some reason, John Paul was the one. John Paul II.
Yeah, it's
he was the
most famous.
big one. Like, why was he so famous? Like, why is he the most famous?
He was
one?
around for a long time.
He drove the snakes out of Ireland.
He did that.
He brought 5 aside to Mayo.
That was key. Oh, he did Mayo.
He did Mayo. He brought 5 aside to Mayo. It was a huge undertaking.
Big thing in that.
Big thing at the time.
Yeah.
So I've never heard a pope speak English, like, if you know what I mean. Like, maybe I have, but...
And speak like a blues brother.
Yeah, like speak like, oh yeah, you know, like he speaks like us or like people we know in pop
Takes
culture.
a little bit of the mystique out.
It does take a little bit of the mystique out of us. That's all I was thinking when I saw him.
And also,
I was like, he's an ordinary soap.
he's an ordinary soap, but he's also not necessarily going with the way Francis was.
Right.
Francis was living in with a scatter of nuns. He was going, have you a room free up in the house? And they were like, yeah, no bother, I'll stay there.
He was also like, we'll all shower
so
together.
he was shunning the trappings of the Pope of the Pope.
So he was trying to live as the pauper's pope.
A pauper's Pope. Yeah.
Pauper's Pope.
Leo's
I love
after
that.
landing in going, yeah, no, I want the apartment. I'll take the palace.
But you know what though, Ray? I'm glad there's a little bit of capitalism involved in this process because like he is the leader
yeah, I suppose he deserves something.
of the Roman Catholic Church.
Yeah.
Like
He'd be busy.
he doesn't need to be sleeping on the street. Like he's a
true.
busy boy. He
Yeah.
needs to go home to a nice, comfortable bed.
Apparently,
Men-
all Pope Francis has is about €100 left. before he
well,
passed away.
apparently they're not going to. So Pope Leo the 14th. Apparently he doesn't have like a net worth, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't leave anything behind
No.
because everything he owns and is passed on.
No, he can take with him because he's the Pope.
Can he take the whole?
Yeah, he take the whole lot, yeah.
You can put the whole hat in the coffin with you.
Set it off. Yeah.
Imagine the back. Put it up on adverts next week.
Yeah.
One papal crown. Like, you're like, no, but that's the thing. They're not worth anything.
No.
Because they get given stuff along the way, like, which is great because you save on tax. But him living in a nice apartment, I saw him turning the key on us and going into it and stuff. And I was like,
you sure that wasn't the big cathedral? No, that was a different fella.
no, he turned the key into the apartment.
His own apartment.
Yeah, it was like an ad on
Did he take-
booking.com.
did he take a photo outside?
It was like an Airbnb ad. They gave him the key and they showed him around the apartment that he was going to be living in. But apparently it gets locked up when Pope Francis passes away.
Oh, yes.
They don't open it again until Pope Leo says, I will now be
But
over
Pope
to.
Francis was living in a bedsit.
Was he actually living in a bedsit?
He was living in a bedsit.
A bedsit, like,
Yeah, like a proper
lodgings.
little
£30
lodging,
a week he was
That
given to a
sort of
nun.
thing. Yeah, exactly.
That's mad. But there's no need though. There's nothing wrong with like with living comfortably there isn't
when
though.
there's that many people living in poverty in the world, the leader of the church, that was the whole point of
Yeah, but
Francis.
he
Francis
worked hard.
going, I'm going to stick with these.
He
now."
worked hard to be the Pope.
He did, but you know, that doesn't
He
mean
had
he
to
gets
work his
more
way
than
up.
them, yeah?
Do you know how much holy water he had to spread Ray to get to where he was?
Now,
like?
I will say, if he was living in the bedsit, it's a wonder he didn't let out, you know, or at least give the
Airbnb.
keys,
Airbnb
for
out.
free Airbnb for the poor people.
Yeah.
He can stay in my
No,
apartment.
he should have actually Airbnb'd it like
Made a
$2,000 a night.
Yeah, but giving it to the poor.
Yeah, for hen parties and
Yes,
shags.
yeah.
Yeah,
You
and
want
then
to
give
live
the
like
money.
a pope and
Yeah.
then give the money to the pope. Yeah, you could
Yeah, live like the Pope for a week or live like the Pope for a night. That would have been great. Like, anyway, what were we on about before that? Why were we getting on to? We talked about something before the Pope.
You talk about your child.
No, there was something like that. Anyway, it doesn't matter. That's if you're wondering, how to market on this. That's what it is.
That's what.
Anyone out there, just letting you all know, everybody. I don't have anything else going on. It's only kids I can talk about. So if you're looking, going, Kendy's on about kids again. I don't have anything else.
Nothing else.
I'm bringing Layla to business meetings.
Yeah.
She's sitting on my lap on Zoom calls.
Yeah.
That's what my life is now.
Like, life is there now.
I went into an office today to meet someone.
Yeah.
And the girl behind the desk said, "Oh, you brought the little one with you." And I said, "Oh, I'm just letting you know now, anytime I come here again."
Yeah.
That's what my life is now. She's going to be with me.
I'm so sorry, Mark.
No, it's good and all.
It's good,
I really enjoyed it, but it's not good when she's puking up you don't know what's going to come next, man. It's like a fire hydrant.
But it won't last forever.
The puking
the puking.
Oh yeah, the puking hopefully won't last forever.
No, and the age they're at some point she'll be driving you. So that's
oh, I mean, how amazing is that going to be?
Yeah, well, you mightn't enjoy it because more than all fathers, they'll be sceptical of their daughter's ability to command a car, given their 50 years of experience.
Yeah, well, by then, hopefully, the car will be driving itself, and she won't be driving. We'll all be both sitting in the back. I've been thinking about this as well, going forward, and we don't have to dwell on this if you don't want, if I'm wrecking everyone's head. I look at Pat Short and Faye Short.
Yes.
And their ability to go off and
do
work together and gig together, and how brilliant that is.
Do you want to get rid of me?
Huh?
You want to get rid of me?
I'm just saying, in 20 years. So there's going to be a period in their teenage years where it's like, "Daddy, you brick, you stupid
They'll
brick.
hate you.
I want to go out with him. You're not fucking shit. You're going to live with the nuns like Pope Francis."
Yeah.
So but then I know that there's a turn because you go through. I had a development stage as a teenager.
Yeah.
And now, like, I have more respect for my parents and love for my parents than ever before.
Yeah.
Like, I ring my mother every day, like.
Yeah.
And I want to ring my mother every day, you know? So
She's
I know.
Son. I'd ring her maybe once a week.
No, honestly, you only ring her once a week.
Once or twice.
But you know something, you're a disgrace at all she did for you, Ray.
Yeah, no, sorry.
You dirty pig. Anyway, I'm hoping that might be the case, and maybe, who knows, they could be into the same thing I'm into. We could have a family band, or
you could have all those things,
and I could spend the rest of
the
my life.
The Atlantic Wedding Band could effectively just be your family at some point.
I bet he has to retire eventually. Right?
Yeah,
she's
nice
on the road.
three-piece.
Betty's been on the road for age. Surely to God now she's due retirement.
Yeah.
Do you know? So yeah, Kendy and daughters on the haulage side or on the side.
Nice.
I'm just wondering, I'd love if they would want to work with me when I'm older. How cool would that be? How cool would that be?
It'd be nice, but it just means the rest of us will be out of a job.
Oh, right. I know, but I mean,
me and Bethany will make our own band.
Yeah, but me and you won't be friends by then or anything like that. Hopefully not. Like, fingers crossed. No, but the thing, and we'd be at different stages of our lives.
I told you how aggravated I get on Bulmers.
Do you get bull-tick on Bulmers?
I don't know. I've always looked and had great memories.
Yeah.
Great good nights out, like. But now all I get is indigestion.
Oh, it will cut you open.
That'll cut me open.
A bag of Rennie wouldn't cure it. Like, oh, it is. It's very bad, Brendan.
Yeah.
Bulmers is the worst for this kind. Anyway, that's the story with me. Have you any other news or what you want to talk about?
I have many topics I need to throw at you.
Go on, yeah.
All right. We're going to start with the start.
Start where you mean to start.
I'm going to start where I mean to start, right? First of all, you're a driver.
Yeah.
And you drive around the town.
I do.
Do you ever find as you're driving that young fellas, right? And sometimes other age groups, but you'll be driving along and they'll take a notion to cross the road.
Oh, yeah.
And they'll be walking slow and you'll be coming up on them.
Yeah, yeah.
And you'll be going...
That's a power move.
Happened
to me today.
And they don't look at you.
No, it's power move.
They don't look at you and you're going, if I keep going at the speed I was ordinarily going at, this person would be underneath the car.
So that is a power move.
It's mad.
Yeah. So young lads are very bad for it. Young lads are very bad for going, it's my road.
Yeah, it's my road, yeah. I'm going to stand here and you have to kind of deal with it.
And when I say young lads, I don't mean young lads, I mean boys.
Yeah, boys.
Now, there's a difference between young lads and boys. And there's a difference between boys and boys.
Right.
Like every town has the boys.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you drive through any town in Royal Ireland or that's the boys.
That's the boys there now.
So it's the
very
boys.
frustrating.
The boys will do that.
And if you beep at them,
you're
taking your life in your hands because all of a sudden...
Yeah,
you're then the focus of their attention.
Yeah, he'll pull a knife and then that's the
knife and scrape your car.
Yeah, or he key your car or whatever. So that happened to me twice today.
It's mad.
So once, and I don't know what like the political term for
politically correct term
for two junkies.
Not political term.
Yeah, the politically correct term.
Yes.
Yeah, for two junkies is
right.
But
that's what it was.
Yeah, whatever the right thing to say there is, that's what it was.
Two gentlemen that enjoyed
a woman, a pregnant woman, and God forgive me, I don't judge a book by its cover. She was fairly junked out of it by the looks of things.
Right.
And her junkie boyfriend.
And she wasn't aware, nor the two of them
No,
were
they were
aware.
both aware. They were both aware. You know when you cross the bridge there coming down by the old shenanigans?
Yes.
They just crossed in between the two lanes traffic.
Right.
Like in between, and just went for it. Didn't look at anyone.
Yeah.
Cars that slamming the brakes. Cars. Yeah.
Yeah.
And she was
was
heavily pregnant like this woman as well. Jesus. And then I was coming down the Gallows Hill.
Yeah.
And a young lad, this is the thing as well. When I was learning how to drive, the best thing I was ever taught by a proper driving instructor now, Brendan.
A real driving instructor.
Right? Paul McStay, Castlereagh, told me, Mark, the quickest way across the road, driving or otherwise, is straight.
Right.
So he was telling me, when you're putting out onto a junction and you have to go across the roads, don't be going across the road at a mad angle. The quickest way across to go out straight and then turn to where you need to go. Yeah. The same thing applies to people crossing the road driving, or walking. But boys will walk at a 45-degree angle.
That's what they do.
Across the road.
Towards you.
Yeah, towards you.
Where they can see you coming.
That's it. They'll walk towards you, where you're nearly going, like we're both...
am I here?
Yeah, we're both on the road now. Like, you're coming against me now.
Yeah, do you have tax and insurance on that person?
Yeah, and that happened on the Gallows Hill today, and I'm telling you, it's a power move. Yeah. So I'm coming down, he's going to stop, not me.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing more, that'd be a nick for a girl, definitely, if you saw a fella do a little double take to have to kind of run across the road, like.
Oh, I suppose.
Do you know what I mean? It doesn't look good, like. Brendan brought up a great point as well. For all you pedestrians out there, right? Especially on a Collins Street in Sligo, you can see it as well, right? When there's a little speed bump on a main road in the town, right? Yeah. And it does not have the zigzag lines. That is not a pedestrian crossing. You don't have the right to walk across that.
They treat it like it
is. They treat it like it is.
And you can't hit them.
Well, Collins Street's a death trap. No, I plowed through for them. But I was like, sure, you can't. You should be on the road. You should, yeah. It's just a kind of if I give you the right of way. So, and I was going to say something else as well there. Speaking of icks and all that kind of crack as well, there's a great trend on TikTok if anyone wants to bang it into their algorithm, and hopefully by me saying it, your phone will listen to you and show it to you. It's boyfriends who have never seen their girlfriends running before. Have you ever seen those videos? Absolutely brilliant, right? It's two people sitting down, and obviously before the video starts, he goes, "I've never seen you run." Like, she's like, "I don't know, sure, I probably run normal."
Yeah.
So out to the back garden they go, and usually they don't run normal.
No, they don't.
Women running is sometimes a lot weird, unless you're Rashida Adelecki. You look awful odd out there.
I think I run weird as well.
Yeah, you definitely do run weird. No, 100%. You just wouldn't have the athletic structure.
No.
Yeah, I'm going to do it too. We're going to do a couple of videos. I want to see Ray run. I want to see you sprint, like. Go for it. Like, someone's chasing you. I want to see you sprint.
You won't see me in the video. It won't be fast enough. I'll be that quick. You'll be gone.
120 frames per second.
You'll just see a drop of dust.
Stop.
Speaking of which, and running, did we have 3 GAA matches that we were asked about that I called? Or do we even remember what I said?
Brendan Love.
I said Mayo would hammer Galway to the point that Galway would never be show their face again.
Brendan, if you can, so even if you have to walk out of the room, will you find out from last week's episode?
I don't know what the other two
games were. I don't know if you can go sift through them.
Look, it's all right. I don't know
if we can find it, we'll find it. Like, anyway, we will do that, because people did accumulators on us.
Were you awful upset? You know, me and you did a little gig together about 2 weeks ago in the library here in Sligo.
That's facts.
Yeah. Were you awful upset when I ordered an Apache in to eat during the event?
Why did you ask me that now? I
thought about it after, and I thought, was I a bit cheeky having my dinner at the official event?
Yeah, you were. Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, you were. I couldn't believe you did that. I'm so glad. Like, I'll tell you, Brendan. I'll tell you what he did. I can't believe you brought that up.
I had to ask you. Because it's the only time we talk every week.
I nearly got sick when you did that. Like. So there's a difference. Like, so
set the scene.
So we both got hired in by a company to do a job.
An actual professional business.
Yeah, professional business to do a job in Sligo County Library. I was videoing, Ray was doing audio.
Bearing in mind, there was apple tart out at the start that I had my eye on and would have kept me ticking over, but they took the apple tart away when the event started.
Yeah, because you don't eat during an event, especially in a professional capacity when you're working there while an event is going on. I'm sure. Right. Dead silent library.
Right.
Ray Horton did a pizza
a literary
chips.
event.
Yeah, it was a literary event with an author and learned beings.
And I thought I was absolutely starving. And our family is riddled with people who sometimes can't function if they're really hungry.
I can't believe how little you function without food.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy. I could go a day without food. Like.
I know. I was getting to the point where going, oh God, I'm in a bad way here. So I went on Just Eat and I looked up, I hit up my favourite takeaway, Apache, and I said, my usual, please, Apache.
Yeah.
And I put in a little note on the order thing, give me a ring when you're outside because I don't want you to come in. Because I knew that'd be unprofessional.
Imagine a delivery driver coming in like,
who ordered
the pepperoni?
Raymond
my God.
So in fairness, he did ring me and I went out and it was really quick because it was between songs. So I had to make sure that I didn't miss any key parts of the show that I was working on.
Yeah.
And then I landed in with my little Apache pizza, a little personal one, little 4-inch job.
Yeah.
And we put...
4-inch pizza?
7-inch pizza.
7-inch, I'd say, yeah.
And then it was... and and chips and
Yeah.
Coke. Yeah,
Yeah.
But I knew I could
And,
feel
like, the smell, like-
I could feel it off you.
Yeah,
that you
the
were-
smell as well.
That you know, a younger man than me, you were disappointed in your peer at that
Yeah,
point.
I couldn't get over it because, like, you know, if that was like a rock and roll gig that you were doing audio on in a pub venue,
Yeah,
or
it'd be
something,
sound.
it'd be okay. But
Yeah.
we were working for Sligo County Council,
We were.
you know, and
Yeah.
like, no, you can't. No, you can't bring
Oh, I
food
never
into a
even
library.
thought of that. You're not supposed to bring food into a
You
library.
can't bring food into a library, and there's a reason. Beforehand, they dish out like biscuits and coffee, but you can't.
So they brought their own food in.
but that's only
Yeah.
for like the mingling session.
Yeah.
But like while there's people
Minglement.
listening to a talk,
Yeah.
you ordered in a pizza and like you were working. So like at gigs like that, I usually try and like dress professionally.
Yes.
I act professionally
Oh
with
no,
people who are.
I wasn't dressed professionally.
No,
either,
I don't
was
even mind that. No.
I was wearing a black tracksuit bottom, Jack and Jones, and a very baggy black my haircut T-shirt. Actually, was what I was wearing.
yeah, and like but when I saw you order the pizza, I didn't want to say it, obviously, but
Yeah,
I was
but
like, I can't. The anxiety. I couldn't believe the neck on someone to order food to a gig like that.
The older you get, it seems the less worried you are about how upset everybody might be about a situation. However,
Yeah.
I would like to apologise. I didn't want to be. I know you suffer from the anxiety, and I
Yeah.
know that incident would have. So it was very selfish of me
Yeah.
to put you through that because I know you were already under pressure.
Yeah, and also-
managing the whole thing
yeah,
on your own.
yeah, 'cause
and
I-
I was sitting directly behind you.
Yeah, eating a pizza. And like for them, like I'm the point of contact as well.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
Like it's me that's in charge of everything that happens
Yeah,
in there.
I put you in a different
No
position
one said
there.
that because thank God they were the people
Well,
who
they're the
organised-
loveliest people.
No, they're the nice people
Yeah.
in the world, by the way.
It was
And
a great
I actually
event.
mean that. If you
Yeah.
go like Sligo, I am so again with the two girls. I'm bringing the girls to Sligo Library because libraries were scary to me when I was young.
Mm-hmm.
I thought you get shushed by a librarian with glasses, but it's not like that. Like
it's very
the Sligo
encouraging.
Library staff are fantastic,
Yeah.
and the amount of work they do, the amount of events they run, the amount like it's their class. Like so, I don't think they would have said that, but like. If they saw you, I would have said sorry to them.
I'd like to apologise to you, Mark.
Yes.
And to Sligo Library.
There you go.
Um,
He won't be back again. I'm
I
just
won't be
letting you all
back
know
again.
that.
And I'm devastated about that.
Yeah. Anyway, go on. mate.
Moving on. Who moves? You know the e-bikes you get in town.
Yeah.
You know the way that the people cycle them to places
Yeah.
and they get left in locations.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen the e-bike
Yeah.
company out in the van?
Yes,
moving.
I
You have.
yeah.
You have. I've
So
never
the great
seen them.
thing about e-bikes is, and we're all saving the planet, is a big dirty 2-litre diesel van then comes up, drive around the town all day to try and move them around the place.
They do they?
They do. And those boat bikes, listen, I've said this before about Ireland, okay?
Yeah.
We have great intentions and then we abuse the shit out of things and make them not worthwhile anymore.
Right.
Airbnb is the best example of it ever, right? Airbnb is what a great, lovely little premise. Irish people ruined it, okay? The same with those e-bikes. We say, what a great idea. Once everyone sticks to the rules of the roads,
the Airbnbs?
be
What did they do again? Just so I'm.
they made it so that you can't rent a house now in Sligo, but there's 300 Airbnbs
Oh
available.
yes, okay.
For people who just bought properties.
You can rent a house for a few days. But
Yes.
You can't rent one for a year.
Yeah, you can rent a house for 2 days
Yeah.
for the same price that you should be able to rent a house for
a month.
For a month.
For a month, yeah. Okay, I'm with
So
you.
there's 280 Airbnbs available in Sligo and
Yeah.
4 rental
Four rental
properties.
properties, yes,
you know?
I'm with you now.
So abused to bits.
But
Okay?
the bikes?
The bikes then have been abused by the fact that what a great idea that people can cycle around the town. Once they stick to the rules of the road now, these are high-powered electric bikes.
Yeah.
Let's do that. Great crack until Kendy nearly kills someone come around the corner at Ulster Bank at 2 a.m. who's drunk on a fucking bike.
Oh, yeah.
Going the wrong way down a one-way street, flying around a bend.
Shouldn't really be operating at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, no,
should
so
they?
the thing is... Yeah, but the thing is, the guard should be allowed to stop these people. I don't know if they are or not, but that I'm sick of giving out about Sligo Town, right? Stephen Street, as you come down by Lily's and the banking section, the finance sector,
The financial district
the
of the
financial
town.
district of Sligo,
Yeah.
right? People go down that road on a boat bike, and it's the other way. It's a one-way system, and then they fly across the junction to go down the mall.
Yeah.
They do it all the time. Myself and Lukey were in the van the other day and Bucky Boo did it on a boat bike, right? And then he acted like it was Jody did then, right? As he flew out of it and Lukey laid on the horn like you're going to kill yourself because he was locked drunk on a boat bike. He was then like, oh, please, sirs, ye go first then. And I was like, no, you can't turn it back on us because you were going the wrong way. Now I'm revved up and you're acting like it was me.
Yeah.
And I know I'm the one that's angry and you're acting cool about it, but that's not fair. Unbelievable. And, get my patch beans down here now. Your man was on a boat bike. So, the boat bikes are chronic. And the other thing then as well is, okay, if you make your bed...
Sorry for getting you so
Sorry
wound
now.
up.
If you make your bed, bike, cyclists around the world, I sound like George Hook. Cyclists of Ireland. This goes out to you, and electric cyclists.
Okay.
Okay? If you make your bed, sleep in it. Okay? Because if I pull up to a junction at the top of O'Connell Street and the light is red, right?
Yeah.
You don't get the free pass to just hop up onto the footpath and then take off the... That's not fair. That's not fair. It's not fair. Just because I chose a diesel engine with the tax through the roof, right, doesn't mean that you get to hop up onto the footpath and scare Bridie, who's 85 after coming out of the post office, right, true, collecting her pension.
To avoid the lights.
To avoid the lights. You don't get to do that. If you make your bed, sleep in it. If you're on a bike, stay on the roads.
Okay, calm.
So I don't know how I feel about electric bikes, Trey. I'm kind of on the fence, to be honest.
Right. I'm about to move on to something. Oh, this is a little bit easier. Yeah. Laura
This'll rev me up now as well.
No. Laura had a complaint about me, and I'm wondering if you found the same thing with me.
Okay.
Right. So during the construction works that are happening with the house at the moment, I tend to ask her some design questions regarding bits and bobs. You know, because obviously the two of us are involved. It's our joint house.
Yeah.
And
it's a joint house.
I can't make a decision on like a plug socket and where it might be.
Yeah.
Without running it by my wife.
I mean, it's really amazing how that happens. By the way.
How do you mean?
I'm already. I don't want to break up your story here, Anton, but the idea that men have any control over any big decisions is just hilarious. It's so hilarious.
Yeah.
I don't get to decide anything.
Oh, no, I don't either. I pose the question, then I get told which way
so
it's
you're
going to go.
saying there a discussion. It's not a discussion.
It's not a discussion. No, I bring it to her attention, she decides.
Yeah.
But in me bringing it to her attention, she has pointed out that I have a very bad habit. So I would say to her, so we'd be sitting in the car, perhaps driving along, and I said, Laura, can I ask you a question about a plug socket? She said, no problem, belt away.
Yeah.
Do you know, as you come in the front door of the house, she's like, yeah, and you walk through the hall, she's like, yeah, and you go into the back little living room area that we have. I said, yeah. And she says, yeah. And I says, and beside where we're going to put my desk for the bit of remote working, you know the window that's there? She says, yeah. And I said, you know, beside that window, between the window, we'll say, and the door going into the kitchen? She says, yeah. I says, do we need a socket there? And then she looked at me and she went, why didn't you just say, do we need a socket between the window at the back of the house and the kitchen door?
I haven't noticed that about you before.
Because, I mean, and she painted it, I think it's like kind of going, okay, you arrive at the train station in Sligo.
Yeah.
You walk over past the cathedral.
It's like her, it's like you said to her, will we go to Dublin on the train?
Yeah.
But you actually say, Laura, you know what, if we leave the house?
Yeah.
Well, and then we might walk down then to the train station.
So you haven't noticed this about me. I don't do this
and
to
we
you
might
much,
buy a ticket. I haven't noticed that at all, but women, especially like wives, they have, I mean, the little shit that annoys them is unbelievable.
That's right.
And they have a great way of finding that. Like Nicola's thing lately is, like we wreck their heads, Ray. That you see that little thing that you done there?
It really wrecks her head.
Yeah, like I wouldn't be that bothered by it.
Yeah, it's a waste of her life.
Yeah, because we like each other, but they don't like us.
Yeah.
So they don't like us. But the stuff that wrecks their heads is outrageous. So do you know what Nicola's biggest thing is? So Nicola hates sympathy. Okay. So
Laura wouldn't be a fan of it either.
If I have a bad leg, not a drop of sympathy would you get from her.
Oh.
Now you might get a fix.
Oh no, Laura's very good without sympathy if I have a bad leg.
Oh yeah, okay. So Nicola's not a very good person. But
It's just if Laura has a bad leg, she doesn't want me feeling sorry for her.
Oh no way.
Yeah,
no way.
Don't be pitying me.
Yeah, well Nicola's the same as well. Like Nicola could be sick and not tell you.
No,
she won't. Whereas I'm like every little bit.
So what's going on with you?
So I did have a gammy leg.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
And
gammy for all of you listening at home is probably an injured leg.
It was sore, like
sore leg. Yeah.
Sore left foot. I thought it was shin splints.
Okay.
You know.
Yeah.
But no, I wasn't going around the place like a flute, like. Yeah. But she just has no time for any of that. So I wasn't getting anything from her.
Was it a dose of what's wrong with you? Was it a dose of will you man up?
No, I was saying to her, geez, my leg is bad. And she was going, all right.
Your mouth is sour.
Yeah.
That's my mother would say.
That's your mother would say.
Yeah.
But I wasn't getting anything back. And I wasn't looking for anything back.
Yeah.
Right? But she thinks I always am. So this is what drives her mad. I was chatting to my mother then a couple of days later. Any crack.
You told your mother about your wife.
I said, I have a bad gammy leg. Like, don't know what's going on with us. I haven't a clue. I said to her, because it feels like growing pains.
Okay.
So did you ever get growing pains when you were young?
Yeah.
Worst
thing ever.
So I said, I used to get really bad growing pains when I was young. And I said to Mum,
not for very long, but the looks of you.
No, it only grew just for a little bit. Like, they started growing out this way then.
Right. Certain areas grew more than others.
But I said to Mum, do you remember I used to get those growing pains when I was a kid? Like I couldn't sleep with them. Like I was like, they came back in my left leg. Like
yeah.
And But I didn't tell Nicola that I told Mam because Nicola does not like me seeking sympathy from my mother.
Oh,
because Mam will give me all the sympathy in the world.
Sympathy.
My poor little butt.
And then she'll make Nicola look like a bitch.
But like the other side is yeah. So then
Nicola.
So the next day, like I said, I talked to Mam every day. The next day, then I was on the phone to Mam, and Mam was like, "How is your leg?"
Oh,
Mark?
in front of Nicola.
Nicola turned like,
"Oh no."
And I was like,
"Shut up, Mum."
I was like, "Shh," right? And after the phone call ended, Nicola said to me, "I don't give you sympathy, so you look for it off your mother."
I thought you were going to say, "Don't ever
belittle me like that, you piece of shit." No.
Fat piece of shit.
She slapped the head of me. No, it's so funny the way she couldn't handle it.
Yeah.
She was like, "That's what you do. You go and you get sympathy because I won't give it to you."
There's nothing wrong with that.
But the problem
you need a bit of sympathy.
So the problem with Mam is, and this is not an over-exaggeration, she thought I was dying.
Yeah.
So she heard, Mark's leg is a bit sore. He's surely dying.
Yeah.
He has to be dying.
Yeah.
So she panicked for 3 days. Now, I subsequently figured out what it was.
What was it?
I'm using a roll in SP1 stamp box. Everyone out there will know what that is.
Yeah, of course.
So
it's
of course
well-known.
I play a drum with my left foot at solo gigs.
Yes.
And actually, I was at a bad angle for a gig. And it was straining
You pulled
because
the muscle.
I went to do another gig then on Friday, and I was like, "Oh, that's what happened."
Yeah.
You know, so I could get a go home player, but you know what? The physio is cheaper. The physio is cheaper, Brendan, than getting a go home player. Anyway, that's what it was, and I told Mam. And she that's only when Mam let me know. She was like, "Oh, thank God, Mark, because I thought it was you were dying. I thought you were dying."
Yeah.
You know. So, but that drives Nicola crazy.
She doesn't mind you telling everybody this.
No, not so. Well, Nicola doesn't listen, which is good.
Great.
But Nicola hates when there's something wrong with me.
Yeah.
Hates it. Yeah. She also hates when I'm around,
Sorry for this.
and she hates when I go away. So she hates when I'm not in the house, and then she hates when I'm in the house.
You know, it sounds like abuse.
Yeah, no, it's not at all, because she tells me that after she locks me in the underneath the stairs, she tells me, "You do this to yourself. I love you."
Yeah.
You know, so she probably does love me. I'm sure she does. But the thing is, there's women out there listening to this going, "She's right, Mark. Like, you're a fanny." You know, like there is.
No, but I think
there is. It's women.
Everybody deserves a little bit of sympathy.
Oh yeah, well I do. No, I get it from Mam though.
Yeah.
That's the thing. So Nicola doesn't want to overload with sympathy, so I get it from Mam. The other thing with Nicola as well, even though she's not giving sympathy, she'll fix it. Like, she'll fix your problem for you.
But she won't tell you. Yeah, she won't be sorry for it. But
she'll say, "I have that sorted."
Yeah.
Shut up now.
Yeah.
Shut up. That's.
I like that.
In
I
no
like Nicola.
In no uncertain way. Maybe we should switch. Maybe you know.
As
in, Laura should go with Nicola. I should go with you. Start kissing
want,
you.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
I had another incident.
I want the house. Okay. Go on.
I had another incident where I let myself go a little bit, and I'm just asking you to see. Have you heard me do this before?
Go on.
So we were off last week. We took a week off. Went over myself went over to Spain.
Yes.
A little bit of sunshine.
You did.
On the way, we landed in the airport in Spain.
Yeah.
And
the airport, one airport.
The one airport in Spain, we landed in
Air Spain.
and we were walking up to passport control with all the the hundreds of people landing off all the planes, and there was a group in front of us, and we were basically a group. The group of us walking, and we were pushed down a new lane. So they opened up a new lane.
Yeah, it's like being in Duns whenever they say, "I'll take you here on 4," and you're like, "Lovely, I'll jump in."
There was hundreds of people on the left that we were now walking by. It felt like we're skipping all the queues.
Yeah, the guilt will kill you.
There was kind of a family in front of us. Now, it was kind of an older family. There was like a granddad, there was like a dad, there was a mother, and then there was a young fella, right? And they were walking in front of myself and Laura. And then they stopped because we were coming up to a turn, and it wasn't evident as to where this was bringing us. Now, I was fairly sure we were going the right way because the lady had pointed us that way.
Fucking aegis.
And out of nowhere, and it was only after I'd said it, did Laura look at me and go, "Raymond, what are you doing?" I said, "Come on, lads, keep going."
You were dictating.
Come on, lads, keep going.
Right.
And then we just kept, and then I kind of, I realised myself, I was like, "Oh no, did I just say that out loud?"
To it, yeah.
Because they kind of then awkwardly shuffled off.
And yeah, that is so ignorant. If someone did that to me,
and I think the reason the family stopped was because the child the young fella was confused.
Oh my God.
About so there was extra shame added to
You're
this.
such an ignorant pig sometimes. I mean that.
I'm so sorry.
I mean that.
So, but you
so
need
bad.
the Pete said the word.
Yeah.
Telling the poor family to keep going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it right though? Was it actually going the right way?
It was going the right way, but I had no right to be shouting at them.
Yeah, you definitely didn't have the right to
and
be
I
shouting
didn't
at
think
them.
I had.
Especially if it's an old man, like.
An old man, a young.
But you didn't know you did it.
No.
I wonder how often you do that as well. I haven't heard it. No, you have been known to say stuff.
I know.
Do you know?
Yep. So that was just another incident of that. Have you watched Deadly American Marriage on Netflix?
So don't talk to me. I was all buzzing for it last night.
Mm-hmm.
I said to Nicola, come on up to the bedroom. Me and you.
Yeah, me and you now.
Underneath the
Me
covers.
and you and the gammy leg.
Come on. And my gammy leg said, shut up about that gammy leg.
Yeah, right.
I said, we'll watch
I was hoping you would have watched it so we could discuss it.
Yeah. I fell asleep after 6 minutes.
Oh my God.
Nothing to do with the show. Do not discuss it. I can't wait to watch it.
It's just, I've been following this outside. I'm so glad Netflix make documentaries of things.
Yeah.
Because I've always wanted to know all the ins and outs of it.
Yeah. That's, do you know what's class? Because I'm getting back into, did you ever hear the Peter Bergman story?
No.
In Sligo. Did you ever hear the Peter Bergman
yes,
story?
the book that just landed in the bus.
2009.
Tipped around for a few days and then just disappeared.
Yeah, but he didn't disappear, like, he just went and died, like.
Oh,
so I watched the documentary on it. I watched a documentary on it yesterday morning, right?
Yeah.
So you don't mind me telling the story, do you?
No.
Like, I didn't want to jump across yours there.
No,
like that.
no, sure. We can't talk about it hours.
No, you can't talk about it because I haven't watched it yet. I will watch it.
Fair play to the Corbetts.
Yeah, for next week. Don't say anything, right? Will you shut up now, ruining it for everyone? I haven't watched it yet.
Yeah,
I want to fall asleep after another 6 minutes.
Which side I'm on.
I'll be 12 minutes into it next week. But anyway, Peter Bergman so this guy lands into Ireland under the name Peter Bergman.
Yeah.
And he goes up to the Sligo City Hotel. 2009.
Lands into Ireland.
Lands into Ireland.
Did he fly in from somewhere
He flew
else?
in from Österreich.
Oh.
He flew and lands in
Where's Österreich?
Austria.
I was thinking.
In German. In Deutsch, that's what Austria is.
Ah, okay. So come in, Austrian tourist.
Yes. And lands into the Sligo City Hotel with 2 carry-ons and a wee purple plastic bag.
Yeah.
He says, I'd like to stay here for a number of nights.
Yeah.
My name is Peter Bergman. This is my address. 2 Austria Lane, Austria.
Yeah.
You know?
County Austria.
County Austria. And he stays there.
Yeah.
And then about 5 days later, he checks out of the hotel, heads off out to Ross's Point.
Yeah, on a bus.
Yeah, on a bus. And 2 swimmers then on the morning find this body lying on the Ross Point beach.
He had an accident.
Yeah, so they're like, who is this man?
Yeah.
Well, that's Peter Bergman, who, no fake name.
So nobody knows
Nobody called Peter Bergman. The address he gave in the Sligo City Hotel doesn't exist. So
you mean there's no 2 Austria Lane?
No, there's no 2 Austria Lane, County Austria. So they then go back through all CCTV around Sligo town.
Yeah.
They obviously talked to the people who had met him, came across him. Taxi drivers.
Yeah.
A taxi driver initially brought him out to Ross Point, show him Ross
Mousy and
Point.
Connolly's drank a pint with him.
Probably.
Yeah.
So they go through all the staff in the Sligo City Hotel and talk to him about what he did there.
Yeah.
And they go through all the CCTV and they find out that over the 5 or 6 days that he was staying in Sligo, he was leaving the hotel every day with a wee purple bag.
Yeah.
And then he was coming back with the contents of that bag empty. Nothing in it anymore.
They do a little treasure hunt.
So what he was doing was he was dumping his personal belongings every day, little bit by bit.
Wow.
But he was aware of where the CCTV cameras were.
So he could never
because they never found out where he dumped anything.
Jesus.
But he was going out with a bag full of stuff, coming back with that bag empty every day until eventually he did one last drop with that. Then he went up to the hotel
and no one
desk.
knows who he was.
Yeah, and he said, I'm going to check out now, please. And he went out. And when they did the autopsy, he didn't die from drowning. So he didn't go out and do it himself, if you know what I mean. That's not what he did.
Yeah.
They found out that he had hugely aggressive prostate cancer.
Okay.
And tumours.
Yeah.
So much so they didn't find any painkilling drug or any drug in his system at all.
Uh-huh.
And a doctor said any man that has that kind of aggressive prostate cancer would be on huge pain medication, be it opioids. He wasn't even on paracetamol. Nothing in his system.
Yeah.
So there's so much rumours. To this day, 2009, they never found out who he was or where he came from.
So he's just a fella that was very, very sick and decided to spend his last few days doing jobs in Sligo.
But would you know you were going to? Would he know tonight? I better go out to Ross Point because I'm going to die tonight.
Yeah, mad.
So there's a lot of rumours that some people say he was running from people trying to get him.
Yeah.
You know, that's why, because why would he come here and not let anyone know and get rid of all of his belongings? Yeah, but like they didn't know, like
That's a very interesting story.
Yeah, it's mad. So, and they still don't know anything about it, but 2009's not that long ago.
No, it's not.
And it's amazing how quick stuff moves on.
That was the year I moved into Chapel Street.
There you go. Like that's the year you moved to Sligo. Like this happened. And like Brendan, you lived here before 2009. So you moved here in 1999.
Oh.
And you did that story I just told. I presume you're probably like, oh yeah, I forgot that happened or something, were you? Yeah, it's not fresh in your head. Yeah, so that's the thing. Like, these things just come and go. Like,
Who do you think will replace Joe Duffy
now, the thing is,
on Live Line?
yeah, I mean, fair play to him. The man has listened to more misery than a fucking confessions down in inner city Limerick, right? That, like, honest to God, the amount of stuff that he's had to listen to over the years. There has to be days where Joe Duffy goes home and goes, if I have to listen to a whistling bridge or a woman giving out about the local topaz, I'm going to go fucking, I'm going to lose it. Like,
have you one person that would take his job?
Who would live with that kind of misery? Like, you have to.
Conor McGregor.
No, but like, obviously he's one of the highest paid people in the media.
I think Conor's going to take it.
Who?
Conor McGregor.
Well, I tell you, that fella would. Do not give Conor McGregor the job of listening to misery, please. Like,
Fair enough. Yeah,
he is misery. It's hard to know if does anyone have that. Does anyone? So the thing is with current radio, not to give out about current radio and all of them, not all of them.
No,
of course, David Duke would be my my favourite.
Yeah.
Sorry. Not David Duke.
And we mentioned that.
But the problem is now is that, like, no, we will. We mentioned after this. We mentioned the David Duke thing. The problem with radio nowadays is, and I'd love to have a job on it. Thank you so much to go loud. Power Media. So the problem is, it's all like, so today, ladies and gentlemen, we're all pick your top 5. What's your top
Twixes.
5 toppings that you get on your chips on a Friday night? I love coleslaw. Oh, Maura, don't get coleslaw on your chips. Curry, you have to get curry. We're asking the nation today, you guys, what's your favourite topping? Call it in, and also there's a cash machine 12 times this hour. So, nobody is miserable. They probably are when they go home, when they go, did I just do a 3-hour show about the toppings on your chips?
You're right, there is a lack of misery on the radio.
There's a lack of misery on the radio.
But you can't be miserable on the radio.
There has to be some misery brought into the radio.
You're right.
Joe Duffy did a job. I know he got overpaid, right?
Did he?
He did a job. Do you know what he did? He never tried to fix anything.
No, he listened.
He fucking listened.
Yeah, he must have done fierce.
And I know that sounds stupid, right? Like I said, one of the most overpaid people in all of the world. But to take that kind of misery on board.
Yeah.
And all he said was, go on.
Yeah.
And what next?
And what next?
He didn't say. So when someone rang and said, they're after stopping me down, Joe.
Yeah.
So I did 3 days work on the site and they stopped me down. He didn't go, but why did you work then? You're supposed to sign the thing over there. He just went, go on. Not like...
Yeah.
And that takes, imagine you having to do that.
I can't, no way.
Like, no just way. Think about it.
And it's funny, you were doing a Dublin accent. I had a gentleman from Dublin ring me yesterday, and Laura was there for the conversation. I was 25 minutes on the phone to him. I couldn't just listen to him. I had to fix it. And at the end of the phone call, I said, no, nothing wrong anymore, is there?
See, Nicola would be the same as you, though. She'd have to do that, like, but
I can't fix it.
Imagine there's an owl one ringing you going, and you see the price of the Turkish bar now, Ray, right? The Turkish bar's got up to 160 now.
I'd argue.
And I love a fries Turkish bar, you see, but I'm only on the contributory pension, and I didn't get himself's pension, and I can't afford the Turkish anymore, Ray. Yeah. What does Ray say to that?
Well, you should have worked harder.
Do you see?
Should have had a bigger pension.
You know, that's it, like,
no,
honest to God, like.
No, I couldn't do it.
You couldn't be doing that. But you know what
I'd
I'd say to that woman? That's a disgrace.
Yeah.
And all the years you worked, like, and you can't even afford the Turkish bar.
You have to validate her feelings and go, that's a disgrace.
You'd go, it's the way things are gone now, inflation, you see. That's just the way it works.
And as well, there's some
How much tax did you pay?
You can get a multi-pack. You could expect not to pay any more than...
$2.75 on a can of bulbs. See, the price of can of bulbs is raised. They're gone up. Like, you wouldn't be able for that. Not to hope. No. Anyway, go on, Riz. Right next, you want to get
very quickly, very last, a few shout-outs. On the way to Spain, in the Irish airport, which was Knock, I landed up at the security. And a gentleman, you know the guys that check your bags put the bags into the boxes?
Yeah, they kind of have to with Knock, really, but okay.
They do, but in fairness, he looks up and goes, I was watching you on the way into work.
What?
Yeah. I didn't get his first name, but it was very strange.
He must
have been watching on the Patreon, which, by the way, if you'd like to sign up, for only €5 a month,
you can watch this whole video.
Or maybe he was watching on TikTok. I don't know.
Well, it must have been on TikTok as well. Yeah,
but fair play to him, and it could be on Instagram as well.
It's mad. A fellow doing security in the airport goes.
I'd have to make one little comment about I went to Sweeney Todd. We said there a couple of weeks back. Sweeney Todd, big production. It was absolutely wonderful. It was an immersive experience. I have to give a shout out to the whole cast.
You were well
director,
immersed.
Karen Gordon, marvellous. One of the highlights of the show for me was in the immersive bit where there was people dressed in London old dress walking by me. There was one particular lady by the name of Sarah. She walked by me with 2 children, and she was bad-mouthing Ballina as she walked by. Ballina is an awful shithole. In an English accent, Ballina is such a shithole. Kids, don't go there.
That's so
only
immersive.
The worst people are from Ballina. And I was going, this is a wonderfully immersive event.
That is so immersive.
Yeah, so I enjoyed that. So fair play to them for doing a wonderful
it was
job.
Apparently unbelievable.
It was a spectacle.
Yeah.
I have to give a shout. I think it's Clairvoyant she is on on the Instagram.
Yep.
She pointed out that Leonardo the 14th, the new Pope, very like myself. He also played Mass when he was young. So obviously she's expert on these podcasts, and she's heard me talk about the fact that myself and my little sister Marie, we would have played Mass.
You did play a lot of Mass.
Played a lot of Mass.
Yeah.
I would have set up the altar in the room. We would have had the Marietta biscuits as the bread. I would have had a little glass of stuff, the wine. I would have been dressed in a sheet. Marie would have been the congregation. She might have come up and did a reading. She might have also rang a bell here and there.
That is so outrageous. But I thought when you said played Mass, you meant played at Mass.
I know. I've done several Masses in the house as a game. And it's funny that the new Pope also played Mass in a young fella, which led my poor wife at the time when she read this message saying, oh my God, have I married a man that should have been a priest?
You could have been a priest for sure. 100%.
Do you want to know what would have happened if I was a priest?
Go on.
My father would have been proud of me.
Yeah, finally. You
would have had the love of my father.
Wanted. It's not too late though.
It's not too late. I said this to Laura. Yeah. I said, I wonder, can I deviate into it?
You could deviate.
Yeah, but I'd have to obviously let her go.
Let her go. Let her go.
I have to also give a shout out to the Piper's Cross Band.
Why? What's that?
Why? They are. So I did a gig for Vinnie Higgins, premier mic stand provider.
Yeah, a lot of mic stands needed now.
Cultus were in the Clayton. They were doing some sort of a seminar event experience over the whole weekend, and there was a Cayley band on the Friday night.
Yeah, I was going to say, is it a Cayley band?
And they were called the Piper's Cross Band. They're from all around kind of Mayo, kind of Knock direction, that kind of Ballahadreen, Ballinrobe, all the balls, and they were wonderful.
Go ahead.
There's nothing like a Cayley band.
Yeah, so Cayley bands, the energy that Cayley bands bring.
But it all starts with the drummer hitting the wood block twice. Bop, 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 and then...
Is it the class?
I was like, how do you know when to start? Like, obviously then goes...
He waits for everyone. He waits for everyone to take a position.
Right.
That's what he does.
And then he just goes...
Yeah. So he waits to see everyone sitting down. They like literally shuffling their seats like... Yeah. And then the women...
And it's like a call to arms.
And then once they're ready, like that, he just goes...
But sometimes there's a little gap between the
it's amazing. It's amazing. So did you know, because you said you were doing sound for Vinny.
Oh yeah.
You're not supposed to amplify a Cayley band.
What?
Yeah.
Well,
that's the traditional way of doing it.
Very nearly didn't happen because there was a power surge in the hotel and it took out the mixing desk, and there was no mixing desk for a few minutes.
So I worked for TG Cahir. Right?
Oh, right.
I worked for TG Cahir at the Flaciole in Mullingar. Was it 2 years ago?
Yeah.
Was it Mullingar? It was Mullingar, I think. In the church, they did the final of the Cayley bands.
Yeah.
Huge event, like.
Yeah.
And they were saying, so we had to amplify it for TV.
Right.
It was going on to TV. I was doing all you wanted to say.
But because you can't amplify a Cayley, but it was just silence in the telly.
Yeah, no.
Just a bit.
Looks like that's a good one. Yeah. No, but the thing is, it can go out to broadcast because RTE Radio 1
Who writes these rules?
No, but that's apparently the thing. So even though I was doing sound on a hanging mics or whatever, well, actually, there was an engineer there from RTE Radio 1 who hung out and then just gave me a feed for the live stream.
Yeah.
But... that was only going to... there was no sound in the room. You cannot amplify a Cayley band. You broke every
I
rule.
had pizza in the Sligo Library. I amplified the
Cayley
band in the Clayton.
Yeah. It's class, though. The energy that a Cayley band brings is absolutely unreal. Ray, have you had anything else that you need to hear?
No, I think that's it. What? You raised scores? All right, let's see. So the Mayo...
Oh, we have raised scores. Brilliant.
Yes.
Rayo +6 and Mayo lost by 2. So there you go. Anyone who put that into the accumulator...
I had to say that.
Dead wrong. Go on ahead.
You also said Galway would just have to retire, basically.
Yeah,
he said that'd be the end of it.
Yeah, that'd be the end of them.
He said Waterford win by 4 or 5 points. They lost by 6.
So he said Waterford would win by 4 or 5 points.
Who bet
they
them?
lost by 6.
For the love of God, Limerick.
And you said Kerry would beat Clare by
A goodly amount.
10 points.
Yeah. Goodly.
By 11.
Now, so you got one out of 3. So you're going backwards now, by the way.
Did you know that Galway, by the way, is the best place to survive a zombie apocalypse?
Is that because everyone's just out of it on
Galway
hash?
Bio did some sort of a research, and they basically looked at all the places in Ireland, and if a zombie apocalypse happens like there is in 28 Days Later, I think there's a new film out now in that franchise. It basically said Galway was the place to weather it out. Because there's good access to A&E, to pharmacies, to supermarkets, but there's also loads of hidden agricultural nooks and crannies where you can hide out if the zombies come to get you.
There is a little bit, but I would say...
Your brother Joey is onto something, I can tell
I
you.
would say it was common because regardless of how out of it or a zombie you are, if you got to the border where it was common, you'd probably still turn around and go, you know what, I won't bother my arse actually heading in there now.
Yeah. I was surprised Mayo didn't get a shout. Mayo's fairly rural, like.
There's parts of Mayo that are rural and all. The great thing about Galway is if there is a zombie apocalypse, and I've always said this about two things: zombie apocalypse, or if the country keeps going the way it's going, right?
Right.
And by that I mean that is such a broad statement. But you know, whenever you read a news article, and it might say something along the lines of,
Country's fucked.
do you know? God forgive me. Biological man wins Olympic gold medal. That's an exaggeration there now.
Okay.
In women's division.
Yeah.
I say to Nicola, if this gets any worse, we're moving to the Aran Islands. Not the
Go
Aran
to
Islands.
Aran Islands.
And we're cutting off all media. I can't listen to this in the moor.
Yeah.
So that's zombie apocalypse, or if the world goes too far.
Yeah.
That's where I'm going.
Very good.
Off the coast to Galway. Yes,
Live
Brendan, love.
live
Sorry,
show.
go on.
Okay,
What?
so from what Brendan said there, we're going to cut into it. Apparently, the Pope is the Bishop of Kilfenora in County Clare.
That's not true, Brendan. He's the Bishop of Rome, isn't he?
He's Bishop of Rome and
why-
Kilfenora. He's twinned.
But sure, that goes too far. I don't mind the nice house at all. But this idea that he could have a monopoly over
I wonder how
Kilfenora.
that happened.
How does that happen?
Long old story.
Everyone Google that and see what it means.
The live show.
show.
There's a live show happening there. You'd
Yeah.
be delighted to hear this now.
Yeah, this is the last live show I'm ever doing in my life. I decided it last night when I was chatting to the girls.
Right.
Said it to your
Are you
wife,
upset
Laura.
again?
Said it to your wife, Laura, and I said it to...
Why
it was
you
just...
gone off them?
No, I'm not doing them ever again. This is the last ever live show.
So I'm just getting fond of them.
Yeah,
And
that's what I said. I said, Laura, I'm just letting you know, this is the last live show I'm ever doing. I'm not doing any more of these.
Right.
Last time ever, Kendy Raybo live show. And then Laura said, but Ray is only now
I'm
comfortable.
only now comfortable with them.
Like, Laura was annoyed at me because
My
she was like,
shoulders are down.
you telling me that my husband is finally putting performances in and you're cutting it now?
yeah,
like, all
why
of
are
a
you
sudden.
cutting it?
I'm done. That's it. I'm done. I'm retiring.
But is there a reason behind it?
I don't want to do them anymore.
Oh.
Yeah, no, I'm done. Last ever live show.
Do you mind
This
if I
is-
do them on my own?
You can keep doing them on your own if you want. But this,
Kendy and Raybo-
the comedy festival, listen, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it, Brendan.
Yeah.
I need to have a talk with you.
Okay.
So let it be said now, not lying. Last ever live show.
So if you'd like to attend the last ever Kendy and Raybo live show,
Yeah, I
it's on
won't
the
be turned.
19th of June. It's a Thursday night
Yeah.
in the Garavogue Bar.
Yeah.
And tickets
Tickets
are €15.
The tickets are €15. They're
Plus booking fee.
hopefully live, I guess, on. By the time this is out, they will be live on ticketmaster.ie.
And
So
it's
make sure you
Kendy's
go.
last show.
Kenny's last ever show.
So this-
and then I'm moving to the Aran Islands.
And we have a special guest. And
We
I'm
do.
really excited about the special guest.
Which is so funny. It's actually really serendipitous. We were talking about him earlier on.
serendipitous
Having
mean?
a clue. I just said this. I hope it sounds like it might be right. I think it's
I
right.
have a funny feeling Luke Devan will be
Yeah,
sitting there
Luke
going,
will
"That's
be
not the
jumping
right
on that
word."
one now. It's David Duke, ladies and gentlemen.
David of the Jukes.
That's so weird that we were just talking about him. Oh my
Yeah,
God.
yeah.
So he is going to be our guest on the live show from iRadio fame and also from TikTok fame lately.
Yeah, big TikTok
Every time
man.
I open my bastard for you,
He's saying
he
facts.
is there for me.
Yeah. He's there only for you.
Only for me.
Yeah.
Which is not true because he's flying on us. Loads of people are watching him. So that is, you can get your tickets on ticketmaster.ie.
19th
Brendan is wondering what he has to do to finish. Don't worry about Brendan. It's
Yeah.
all right.
Thanks
Usually
very
what you
much.
do is, all you do actually is just hit B. That's
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
All you do is hit B, Brendan, and
Yeah.
live your life.
Yeah.
Okay, Ray, is that all, Ray?
That's all.
That's all the cracks up. Brendan, thanks for flick the keys off yourself. And
Yeah.
Ray, fair play to me.
And fair play to me.
Good luck.
Good luck. The Kendy and Raybo podcast, sponsored by Maeve's Cozy Front Lounge and the Garavogue.